Koenigsegg, yep, he's got the advantage, but unironically, the average ducks to the inside. What a move! But Koenigsegg accelerating back on the outside. And there goes Salty Bonkos to the inside. Bashing door panels, sparks flying, smoke spraying. The Butler is going to go wide. Salty Bonkos on the inside. They're a little bit off the pace, but now accelerating all 500 horsepower. Hello, race fans all around the globe. Welcome to X Venture here live on Twitch TV with week number 4 of the Forza Spec Racing Series. Week number 3 is kind of the hump of the season, and by kind of, I mean it really is. It's the halfway point in between the first race of that evening and the second race. Well, we put that in our rearview mirror last Tuesday. Here we are, December 1st. Yes, it is December of 2020. Can we get rid of this year already? Not to say that turning the calendar is just ultimately going to change everything, but gosh darn it, we'll give it a good shot, right? Yeah, week 4 always is a very exciting week here in the Forza Spec Racing Series because this is where we start to see what the championship picture looks like, what things are going to, how they're shaping up for the finale, which is 1 week from tonight, same time, 8 p.m. Eastern right here. And they'll do 30 laps around Sebring full for that one. So week 4, if you're watching and you hear the sound of my voice, good on you. Now go get some other folks, bring them in here. If you're a racer and you're not yet, you don't have the broadcast already going just to kind of have it going in the background. If you've got a friend or a family member or somebody who would like this racing action as much as you do, get them in here. And while you're here, go ahead and start making predictions while you're at it. I see we've got one prediction for Cratrim not qualifying on pole. That's what our Twitch predictor question is right now, is will Cratrim qualify on pole for this first race here out at Road Atlanta? So go ahead and throw your predictions in there, however many of your channel points you want to use, and try to win some back. A fun little way to engage with the broadcast there. But yes, buckle up, get ready to go. It's going to be a fun, 2 hours here through your Tuesday evening, getting you into Wednesday. I'm Dustin Moore on the mic, as always, here for the Forza Spec Racing Series and season number 37. The standings look like this coming out of week number 3. Now, this is taking into account the drop week rule for each of the drivers. So of the 20 that you see here on the screen, we've factored out their worst week in terms of total points, and so we're only calculating the top 2 right now. And then, of course, after we get done with week 4, we'll take the top 3 weeks, and then once we get to week number 5 and that has concluded and the season is over, Slow Motion Fire will then tally up each driver's 4 best weeks worth of points to get your champion. The champion gets to dictate what vehicle is raced in season number 38, plus the bragging rights. So there's that fun as well. Cratrim sits atop the leaderboard with 191, just 1 point ahead. RZM McQueen, who happened to pick up a cool 100 points there in week number 3, the most you can get here in any 1 week of the Forza Spec Racing Series. And it's a lot easier to attain that in week number 5 when all you got to do is just win that one single race, which is no easy feat. I say it's easier than weeks 1 through 4, but that's only because in weeks 1 through 4, you have to win both races of the evening to get 100 points, and that's exactly what RZM McQueen was able to accomplish last week out there at Le Mans. the old Mulsanne circuit, and out at Rio de Janeiro, the mini circuit in reverse. And man, that was a fun race. Then we've got Stevie Superstacks, who has been competitive all throughout the season, just sitting in a very comfortable position right now. I know he would rather be in second or be in first, but at 188, this is quite possibly the closest we've seen the driver who's in that P3 spot on the overall leaderboard sitting at heading into week number 4. If he can keep his pace and who knows, maybe even win a race or two here in week number 4, set him up nicely to maybe move up a few spots and have an even better shot at the championship. Either way, if McQueen or Stevie Superstacks win here in season 37, win the championship, these would be their first championships for either driver, whoever would win it of those two. It would be their first championship. If Craytrim wins the championship here in season 37, believe it or not, folks, that would be his 10th championship here in the Forza Spec Racing Series, dating back to, I believe, season 8 or 9. So Craytrim has really stacked him up, considering that there's 37 seasons there's 36 that have been completed to date, and he's won 9 of them. Looking to go double digits here. Oh, that would be something special. All right, who do we have here in the chat? We've got Civic Element. What up, what up, what up? We've got Slow Motion Fire. We've got Carry Out here. DWM Frog is here as well. And, I'm here. I'm ready to go. And we've got 21 drivers who are on the grid as I speak, ready to race. And it'll be 3 laps of qualifying out here at the Road Atlanta Full Circuit, followed by 19 laps of racing. That'll be pretty darn exciting. Looking forward to it. It's one of those tracks that it's kind of hard to go wrong. I don't know that there's ever been a bad car track combination in the Forza Spec Racing Series when Road Atlanta comes up on the schedule. And here in the 2005 BMW M3, I think they're going to look good and they're going to run really well out there on the track. Just a few minutes remaining here in our poll, our Twitch prediction poll. Please cast a vote, if for no other reason than just to have fun with it. You're only betting with channel points here. There's no money on the line. Throw some channel points at the prediction. Will Craytrim qualify for pole? It's a simple yes or a no, and if you increase the amount of points that you're betting, then you're increasing the overall pool, and if you happen to select correctly, then you will get the cut, or at least your cut, of those points, depending on how many people you may have to share it with. As it stands right now, if you vote against or if you vote for Craytrim, you'll be sharing points with just one other person at this point. So you got a couple more minutes here, even as we get through qualifying. You got a shot to go ahead and cast your vote, or up the ante, if you will. Craytrim up the hill here, out at Road Atlanta, turn number 1, that right-hander, heading toward the chicane at the top of the hill. And because they are in the clean qualifying mode, they want to make sure everybody keeps their 4 wheels between the white lines, no question, or at least 2 wheels within the white lines. You do see the tire barriers up. Those will come down during the race itself as they put the Forza race regulations on, just making it a little bit cleaner on the track, a little bit easier for the drivers to see into the apex, all that good stuff. T-Phrase says, not if I have anything to say about it. Well, there you go. We've got a couple of votes there in the yes column. And again, you can cast your initial channel point selection, or you can increase the amount of channel points too. You don't have to just go with the default, and it just lays a little bit more out there on the line. We've got almost an even split here. We've got 4 who say Craytrim will not qualify pole, and then 2 of you who are saying that Craytrim will. And we'll have our answer here pretty quickly. After this first flying lap, we'll at least see what their times are, and then we'll have 2 more after that to determine who's going to be on pole for the beginning of the 19-lap race out here at Road Atlanta, but then also those of you who got the predictor correct. Down the hill comes Craytrim toward the start-finish line. Sticks a couple of wheels out there as far as he can to try to extend that corner a bit and to make the entry into it smoother. He does so, and across the line with, well, we don't know, because McQueen actually has the top time right now from that standing start, a 1:42.153. Let's go ahead and drop back to, let's go to Z827 one of the new names, new faces here in the Forza Spec Racing Series, and somebody who we've talked to a few times in our driver's spotlight, and we'll do so again here throughout the evening, at least maybe not with Z827, or maybe we will, but with somebody. We'll get somebody in there to chat it up about how their cars, how they're doing, how the car is doing out here at Road Atlanta, or a little bit later on at the Nürburgring GP. Z827 now coming back up the hill. It's a little bit of undulation out here at Road Atlanta, which is something we haven't seen a whole heck of a lot here in Season 37. Maple Valley was the short circuit in reverse, so it was a very tight track. Not a lot of elevation change whatsoever. Then you had Le Mans, Rio. So it's been about an even split in terms of tracks with elevation change. Just a reminder, too, while we're in qualifying here, we're closing in. We're just 1 week away from the fall raffle. What are we giving away? One $50 gift card, either for Xbox, PlayStation, or Steam, your choice. If you opt for the former two, you do have to be in the U.S. to redeem those. For Steam, it'll be converted into whatever your currency is from American dollars, so that can be redeemed by anybody. Make sure you put in your entries. And yes, I say entries. You can have more than one. For every 1,000 channel points you earn here on Xventure, you can redeem one entry into the fall raffle. Just click the little wrench icon down at the bottom of your chat. That's how you can get yourself an entry, and then a few more along the way between now and next Tuesday. And at the conclusion of week number 5 here in the Forza Spec Racing Series, we will see who the one lucky randomly selected winner will be. We'll get the Xventure Wheel of Luck. We'll get that spinning here as we watch Funtang. Funtang in the sideways car, and I believe he has had this livery all throughout the season. It's a bit of a change-up from what we normally see Funtang driving, which is the magenta NVIDIA car, or NVIDIA livery. There you go. You guys are getting some of those entries submitted, and looks like we've got one additional vote there as to whether or not Cratrim will qualify on pole. Well, as it stands right now, Cratrim has a top time of a 1:37.5, and he's just now coming across the line and will best his own time with a 1:36, and McQueen across the line with a 1:36.863. Couldn't have been more than a couple of tenths of a second difference between Cratrim and McQueen. But like that, McQueen goes ahead and posts the top time, at least for now. We still have a lot of the field to come across, to include Funtang on their third and final lap. Let's go to Joe Beardy, who currently has the 6th quickest time. So for those few of you who did say that that Cratrim would qualify on pole, sorry, no dice on this one, but do know that we will have another Twitch prediction heading into this next race, or into the actual race. And then we'll have 2 more, one for the qualifying session out there at Nürburgring GP, and then the Nürburgring GP race will also have a Twitch predictor. Again, just another way for you all to get engaged and involved with the fun here on the broadcast. All right, so McQueen, it looks like we'll hold on to the top time unless it just so happens that our fastest driver remaining on the course includes Gumby Greg or Barney. Barney coming across the line at this point. Actually, a little plume of smoke there, so possibly just giving up on that lap. Maybe not a good one. And across the line, take a look at the qualifying. 1:36.948 for Cratrim. That put up against, where is McQueen? 1:36.863. So, yeah, just a little less than a tenth of a second off between those two. And so McQueen will be on pole. Cratrim will be outside of him on row number 1. And then the other question is Stevie Superstacks, who is not on the grid tonight. So we may not have any racing action from Stevie. That, or maybe he'll jump in here for the race itself without any qualifying, or maybe he'll just take this as a drop week and then pick right back up with things a week from tonight with the finale out at Sebring. All right, looking to the interview queue. I don't see anybody there. So I'll go ahead and run through the times here real quick. In between Slow Motion Fire, getting everything sorted. Jacob Boed with a 139.4. Born as Ghost with a 138.6. Raccoon with a 140, a 138 for Carryout, a 140 there for Z827. Audrex with a 138.0, a 138.8 for Slow Motion Fire, a 137.8 for Fear the Fun, who was looking to try to spoil the party there on the Twitch predictor. He will be on row number 2, it looks like. Disco Joint with a 138.9. Modern Weapon with a 141, a 137.9. That looks to be good enough for row number 2 there for Slipstream as well. 141.3 for Fox Jason D. Funtang with a 138, a 138.3 for Joe Beardy. 142 for Beer, a 140 for Chaos Fox. Kuda with a dirtied 139, so that'll put Kuda at the back of the pack no matter the time. A 142.8 there for Gumby Greg, and LS Barney with a 142.6. So Slow Motion Fire will get them all sorted on the pole, or on the grid, with McQueen on pole. And while he does that, I'll go ahead and make sure that everything is good on my end. I will throw it out there. Have had some internet issues over the last couple of days that I don't believe. I know they're with my ISP. My ISP is having some issues as they continue to build up around us here in our neighborhood. So I hope we're good to go for the rest of the broadcast without interruption. But if for whatever reason it cuts out, I will try to get back on as quickly as possible, but know that that's the reason. All right, so Crate Trim did not qualify on pole. Now the question, let's do where will Fear the Fun one finish? Ooh, putting the pressure here on Fear the Fun. Let's say top 5 or 6th or lower. So, will Fear the Fun finish in the top 5 or in 6th or lower? We'll go ahead and start that prediction. You all make the call. Use your channel points there to decide either way, and if you're really confident, then increase the amount of channel points. I believe the way that Twitch does it is that the more you put in, the higher the cut that you will get if you win. So if there are 5 others who vote with you, but you put in the largest sum, well, then you'll get the largest percentage of the pot when the winnings are dispersed. So another thing to consider there. All right, already a couple of votes going 6th or lower, and then a few for top 5. Very good, very good. As we take a look at the lobby, nobody else has joined in here, so it does appear as if Stevie Superstack will not be running here in week number 4, which is unfortunate. However, with all things virtual racing here, real world takes priority. And so we hope that Stevie is just taking care of business, that everything is A-OK, and hopefully we'll see him back out on the track next Tuesday for the finale at Sebring, which, not again, because it'll be the first time we look at it. Let's actually take a glance here at the schedule. I know I've already teased what's ahead, not only here in this first race of the evening, but then our second race out there, the Nürburgring GP, then that Sebring full circuit race in the rain for 30 laps. It's going to start out with heavy rain. Then there's going to be a 100% chance of clouds, and that's it, just clouds, no rain. But then a 40% chance of a moderate rain to close out that race. So it may be one of those situations where we see the rain. Well, we will see the rain, no question, at the very beginning. Then, with no question, it'll go away. And then really the wild card there will be, does it return for the last few laps in that 30-lap race? You're just going to have to tune in and see. And then you take a look back there the last 3 weeks just to get an idea as to where we've been, what got us here heading into week number 4. And with that, let's take one last glance here at the standings while the lobby gets loaded. And we'll be out to racing here in just a few seconds. There we go. We got a pretty good amount of votes there, and you've got quite a bit of time here, folks. A lot of time to put in your votes, so you can hang on to those until you see how Fear the Fun performs a little bit early on in the race. T-Phrase says, I jumped in chat and messed with Fear. He is nervous now. There you go. Tell him there's channel points on the line. Not that he cares. Yeah, I'm guessing maybe he's a little bit easy to get under the skin with. He may not be as composed as others. Very quick driver, so top 5 is certainly obtainable for him. As a matter of fact, I think we saw a couple of top 5 finishes for him there in week number 3. All right, here we are on the line. RZ and McQueen will go ahead and signify the start. We've got cars that are already underway, and I'm going to guess that we're going to see ourselves a restart here. I'm going to keep the camera rolling, so to speak, but a very early departure for some of the drivers that are in the back of the pack. It might have been a little bit difficult for them to see, and as soon as one driver budged, that's all it took to get everybody else going. They seem like they're still under power, so perhaps they're going to go ahead and press on. No matter what, RZ and McQueen out there in front with Cratrim back behind him in second. Odd Drex is in third currently. In fourth position, that's going to be Slipstream, followed by Chaos Fox, then carry out AP1 Raccoon. Fear the Fun is back there in 8th position as it stands right now. Fear was in reverse, says T-Phrase. Oh, no. He backtracked. Joe Beardy and Knight, Slow Motion Fire is in 10th position as we see them coming around that right-hander. The penultimate. Well, actually, it's not the penultimate. You got 2 more coming up here. This long back straightaway. Then downhill, and for those of you who are Formula Drift fans, this will be familiar territory. Because this is where the drifting competitions take place. That little roundabout portion there on the infield of the track. Here comes Cratrim. Keeping an eye on McQueen, trying not to let him get too far away. And based on their qualifying times, Cratrim will be able to keep pace. Now, what's different about the race itself versus qualifying is consistency. You were able to post a quick lap time in qualifying, but can you do that consistently for 19 laps out here at Road Atlanta? Back up the hill they go here on lap number 2 with McQueen still out in front. Odd Drex has got Cratrim sandwiched there. He's in third. Slipstream in fourth. Chaos Fox in fifth. Carry out in sixth. Fear the Fun has moved up a spot now to 7th position with Slow Motion Fire into 8th. Then Raccoon and Born as Ghost. Then from on back, it's Joe Beardy, Barney, Jacob T, Funtang, Modern Weapon, Z827, Kuda 93, Disco Joint, Box Jason D, Beer, and Gumby Greg. 21 drivers who started, all still out there on the track. Now, out of that right-hander toward the Motul Bridge, up the hill they'll go. Cratrim is starting to lose sight of McQueen a little bit. About a 1 second, 1.5 second lead there is McQueen's at this point. Let's go back just a little bit here to Slipstream in fourth. He qualified in row number 2, and if they went ahead and went back into side-by-side fashion, they would he'd still be in row number 2. But no yellows, no cautions here in the Forza Spec Racing Series. They race on. All they ask is that you race clean. And anytime there's those instances where things get a little questionable, they'll take a look at it and they'll provide the drivers some feedback on how they can improve and avoid those incidents a little bit later on or in future races. But all in all, clean clean racing here in FM4. So if you're interested in Forza, the Forza Spec Racing Series, Season 38 will be coming up here in the next, I don't know, month or so. All the details, everything you need to know, reddit.com/r/FM4. Nightbot hooking you up there with the link. All right, we've had a couple of black screens here. I'm not seeing anybody dropped out at this point. No, I take it back. Gumby Greg is out of the race. But our leader still is Arzian McQueen. Caratrum in second. Audrex, Slipstream. With Slipstream closing in on Audrex. Oh, what a nice line there. Slipstream seemed to be carrying it all kinds of speed, and the only reason he had to slow down was that he was closing in on Audrex's bumper really fast. Here comes Fear the Fun, now in sixth position. He's closing in on Chaos Fox, who's currently in fifth. Let's go to Fear the Fun. We actually have a pretty interesting prediction here, and there's still a little bit of time for you to cash your vote, but there are some channel points. A decent chunk of channel points on the line no matter which way you vote. Will Fear the Fun finish in the top 5? If so, vote yes. If not, or excuse me, vote top 5. If not, then vote for 6th or lower. Fear the Fun just all over the back bumper of Chaos Fox, and across the line he comes. I don't know that I've seen Fear the Fun in this Michelin livery. This seems different. And a Tampa Bay Lightning logo up front. Fear the Fun, an avid Tampa Bay Lightning fan after they picked up, well, I shouldn't say after they picked up their championship, but he's certainly happy about that. NHL championship, Stanley Cup. Back down the S's they come. Let's go back up to fourth with Slipstream, who has not yet gotten around Audrex. But he may be making a strong case to get by here. They're going to go side by side into what I believe is turn number 7 and then turn 8 right here. Slipstream on the high line, Audrex down low. Slip will try to bring it back in and do a little switchback maneuver. Not going to happen. They'll go single file back up the hill here. Audrex in third, Slip in fourth. Oh, we've got a driver who's well off the pace. There on what would be the outside line. That's Fox Jason D. Probably sustained some damage with that vehicle and is having to make the long haul back toward pit lane. And it is a long haul, especially as you got to go uphill. And with traffic coming at you, it's a scary, scary situation, that. And across the line, beginning of lap number 5 here, Slip still there in fourth position, with Audrex in front of him. Fear the Fun has now moved into the top 5. He's 5th after getting around Chaos Fox. Let's go back to Chaos Fox and see if he'll make a run to get that spot back. Now about 2 car lengths away from the back bumper there of Fear the Fun. Can Fear the Fun hold on to it? That is the question. And I appreciate y'all hanging out with me here on a Tuesday evening. Hope for those of you who celebrated the Thanksgiving holiday here in the States this past Thursday, hopefully you had an enjoyable one and a healthy one. If you're enjoying the broadcast, please click that follow button like Race Champ 191 did. Be greatly appreciated. We'll give you a nice little lower third alert there on the screen when you do. And for those of you who wish to go above and beyond, a Twitch subscription, either with your Twitch Prime token or with a monetary contribution, we'll get you some emotes, ad-free viewing, and all my love and appreciation. Everything that comes to the channel goes directly back to the broadcast in the form of production value or in giveaways like that of the fall raffle that we've got going on right now until next Tuesday, when things will close up at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Slipstream now across the line, still in fourth position here on lap number 6 of 19. So plenty of racing to go No need to get crazy with it right now. Who might want to try to amp things up a little bit is Craytrim. Craytrim is in second where he qualified, but you see there as we ride onto the bumper cam, Craytrim has fallen back considerably, and McQueen now hightailing it out, trying to get rid of any opportunity for anyone to get around him, much less Craytrim. Let's go to Joe Beardy in ninth. Joe Beardy has Born as Ghosts and Carryout in front of him, 8th and 7th respectively. And then you see Chaos Fox, who got passed by Fear the Fun there, in 6th position. And now our Twitch prediction here for this race has come to an end. Nice little grouping of cars here from 6th on back to 10th. 10th place is Slow Motion Fire. Joe Beardy locks him up a little bit. And maybe a little bit of contact. Born as Ghost going to run out wide. Makes contact with Joe Beardy, and as a result, that dispatched him off into the grass. And it looks like Joe Beardy is going to go ahead and allow Born as Ghost to come back out on the track in 9th position. So a very gentlemanlike thing to do there. Acknowledge that got tangled up there with Born as Ghost. It was, however, Born as Ghost who kind of was not on the racing line when he came in through the back half of that chicane and really left Joe Beardy with no place to go. So just good sportsmanship there by Joe Beardy. Let's go to Slow Motion Fire now, who is in 8th position. And let's see here on the X-Venture rewind if we caught much of that. We did not. Pressed the button a little bit too late. Chaos Fox now up to 5th. Fear the Fun. I mean, that's the question you always have to ask yourself if you're rooting on Fear the Fun, or if you see him in a spot this early on in the races, can he hold on to it? He's dropped back 2 spots now here, allowing Chaos and Carryout to get by, and he's got Slow Motion Fire, who's closing in on him with a heavy application of braking. A little bit of tire smoke there for Slow Motion Fire now as they come through the right-hander, turn 12. And across the line, beginning of lap number 8. RZ and McQueen just on a Sunday's drive, a cruise out here in Road Atlanta for race number 7 of season 37. Craytrim still in second. Audrex still in third with Slipstream in 4th. Let's go to Slip. Slip has had a really good angle coming through that right-hander. He looks solid here through this next right-hander, and sure enough, he does close in on Audrex a little bit as a result. There just must be some other part of the track here where Audrex is a bit smoother. Audrex entering week number 4, 4th on the overall leaderboard with 173 points. That puts him 15 back from Stevie Superstacks, who is not racing here tonight. Let's go ahead and ride on board with Joe Beardy who's got that pack of 5 cars out in front of him. So let's see what it looks like from his view here around Road Atlanta. Joe Beardy going to go side by side with Born as Ghost. Down the stretch they come, 9th and 10th. Born as Ghost got tangled up there with Chaos Fox a little bit, which slowed him down and allowed Joe Beardy to try to make a move. Now Joe's going to be lined up on the inside yet. And he has made the pass. Well done there, Joe. And so where about 3 laps ago, Joe Beardy was unable to get around Born as Ghost at least cleanly, and Born as Ghost went off into the grass, and then Joe let him come back on. Joe secures a clean pass that time through. DWM Frog saying there in the chat, and there goes Chaos Fox, Joe Beardy. Monkey see, monkey do, and as a result, they both go off into the grass, and they're just going to keep rolling on through. Right out in front of Footang. Footang's fallen back to 11th position. And Footang, look at Footang moving around to the inside of Joe Beardy. And let's go to the X-Venture rewind on that one. I most certainly pressed the button in time there. But that's one of those instances where you're just so fixated on the driver in front of you that you forget maybe at some point that they'll make a mistake, and when they do, because you're traveling, because you're basically mimicking them, you make the exact same mistake, and that's exactly what we saw there with Joe Beardy and Chaos Fox. And as a result, Joe is going to fall. Well, he doesn't fall too far back. He's in 9th, back behind his Born as Ghost. It's Chaos Fox who actually suffered the most and is back in 10th now after riding as far up as 5th before getting passed by Fear the Fun, and now dropped back to 10th just out in front of Footang, who says, hey, I don't want any part of you guys' little shenanigans here. I just want to get around you. Let's go to Footang. And it looks like Footang's maybe let up a little bit. Not pressuring Chaos Fox so hard at this juncture. Let's see if I don't think he would have any damage to his vehicle. Well, he does. He's got 8% transmission damage, and it's that 8% that could keep him from breaking into the top 10. Back up to Slipstream, who is still haunting Audrex at this point. Audrex, if he can come out with a podium finish here in the first race of week number 4, that'll be good, because as I mentioned, he sits 3rd overall on the leaderboard. Excuse me, 4th. 4th overall. He's trying to get up to 3rd. If his performance here in week 4 can outdo that of Stevie Superstack's lowest week. As they begin lap number 12 of 19. everybody looking pretty mindful of the track limits there through that first chicane. And then even downhill here, every once in a while you get a driver who has a tendency of taking the S section a little more straight than they should. And that takes them through the grass, picking up a few tenths of a second. But everybody, from what we've seen here, from our camera's perspective, has done well. And now here comes Slipstream. He's trying to make a move on that outside line. This is where he's been very strong out on the track, where maybe a little bit more speed than Audrex has had. And I don't know, any lap now, I feel like Slip is going to try to make the move. Because once he gets Audrex behind him, give himself 7 laps or so to try to catch up with Cratrium. As we see Cratrium now getting up the hill underneath the Road Atlanta signage, followed by these two. 5th is Carry Out. 6th is Fear the Fun. I know some of you are curious to see how that one shakes out. We'll go back there in a little bit, but just going to see here if Slip tries to get on past Audrex at some point here on lap number 13. Back downhill here on the back portion of lap 13. Slipstream. Oh, a lot of heavy braking there, leaving some rubber on the track. Notice how Slipstream's car is pretty much unscathed all around the sides, the back. It's on the front where he's been nudging Audrex from time to time is where we find a few scrapes. That's how close this battle has been all throughout the race, as they are now on lap 14, and every lap that Slipstream spends behind Audrex is just taking him that much further away from Cratrium. And Cratrium does seem to be maybe closing the gap with McQueen. McQueen dealing with some lap traffic right now. Let's go to McQueen, our race leader. His either 3rd or 4th year in the Forza Spec Racing Series, and like I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, he and Stevie Superstacks, the 2 drivers that are in contention for the championship, who have not yet won one. Cratrium, who right now sits atop the overall leaderboard, looking to get his 10th Forza Spec Racing Series championship. There you see Kuda with the back markers, and now to the inside here of, what is that, Gumby Greg? No, Fox Jason D. Gumby Greg is out of the race, but inside of Fox Jason D goes McQueen, getting the pass around the back marker, and we'll continue on. Very well done. In 5th is Carry Out. 6th is Fear the Fun. Let's go to Slow Motion Fire here in 7th position. Vladimir Putin is the No Coast Brewing brew of the day, apparently, there on Slow Motion Fire. And Slow Motion Fire making the pass there on Fear the Fun. And now Fear is going to drop back to 7th, at least for now. Is it possible that Fear the Fun has some transmission damage? Well, if he does, he's not showing it right now as he goes to the inside here of Slow Motion Fire, and he will make it stick now. And now Slow back to the inside, going to get up onto the rear right quarter panel there of Fear. They come back out. Both cars pointing in the right direction, and for now, Fear the Fun moves back up to 6th. But let's go take a look at that pass there by Slow Motion Fire as they come up the hill out of turn number 1. Slow Motion Fire, he'll be proud of me for getting him on the instant replay here with this pass. And then, of course, Fear is going to be saying, well, yeah, but sure, I got it back from him, though. I stole it back. I don't know if the replay is going to make it that far. No, it's not going to. So Fear the Fun back up to 6th now as he crosses the line for the beginning of lap 16. Can he catch up with Carryout, who's in 5th? Let's go back to Slipstream, who is still behind Audrex here in 4th. I was saying I anticipated the BMW M3, all 276 horsepower, 289 foot-pounds of torque, 3,678 pounds of curb weight. I expected the car to look good out here on the track, and it has not disappointed. And, of course, those who are behind the sticks, the wheels, here in Forza Motorsport 7, they're doing a fine job. Great racing after what was a little bit of a questionable start there at the latter half of the pack. A little bit of an early launch for some of the drivers. But Slow Motion Fire, the organizer, said, no, we're going to carry on. Keep going. McQueen now dealing with the lap traffic once again. It's going to be Beer 98, who's now in his rearview mirror, and Kuda 93, who he's looking to get around now as he goes up the hill. Manos Tuchenbachen Boxing, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the broadcast. Manos Techun Boxing, I appreciate it. Hope you're enjoying this Tuesday evening racing from wherever you are. Now on lap 17 of 19, that 20th lap that you see there in the upper right, that'll just be a cool-down lap, so it's lap 19, at which point we will see the white flag drop. Or, yeah, excuse me, lap 19, and it's when they trigger lap 20 that we'll actually have the checkered flag. You're from Greece. Well, welcome, and thanks for tuning in very early in the morning for you. You play it sometimes? Very cool. Well, hey, if you've got availability on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, the Forza Spec Racing Series would love to have you. More information there at reddit.com/r/FM4 as we continue to see Slipstream battle it out here with Audrex. Audrex just defensive player of the game at this point. And he does another one right there. A nice little maneuver to get his back bumper out in front of Slipstream, who tried to look for the solid line, the opportunity to pass, and now he's going to do so here through that final right-hander. And oh, this is a scary place, especially if they run wide up into the grass and you get close to that tire wall. They avoid it, and now to the inside is Slipstream. Can he hold on to it here out of turn number 1? He's got the advantage now up the hill to the chicane, where he will have the advantage once again, at least through much of the chicane. It's on that back half where you exit that Audrex has the run on the inside, but no, it's going to be Slipstream, who does, in fact, get his 2005 M3 out in front of Audrex. And finally, picks up third position. Now can he hold on to it for another lap and a half? Is this the championship? It is not. They've got one more week of racing next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on Xventure. You can watch the final race of the season, season 37, unfold, at which point a champion will be crowned. And so Slip up to third. And that's good news for Slipstream, who right now is 10th overall on the leaderboard. Certainly deserves to be much higher up just because we know what he's capable of. Unfortunately, has just had a few bad runs here in season 37. And there's the details once again on our fall raffle, which concludes a week from tonight. And there's the info. Nightbot has dropped it there into the chat. And across the line they go. White flag now flies. RZ and McQueen, our race leader, and barring some sort of tragic turn of events, McQueen looks to win it here in the first race of the evening. Then Craytrim in second, Slipstream in third if he can hold off Audrex. Carryout is in fifth. Fear the Fun is in sixth. I repeat, Fear the Fun is in sixth, for those of you who said he would finish fifth overall in our Twitch prediction poll. Born as Ghost in seventh. Joe Beardy is eighth. Slow Motion Fire has fallen back to ninth now after being up there in sixth for a little bit. Foontang in 10th, Chaos Fox in 11th. Foontang, by the way, with the transmission damage right now. Disco joined in 12th. 13th is Jacob T, BOED. Then it's Modern Weapon, LS Barney, ZA27, AP1 Raccoon, Beer, Kuda, and Fox Jason D with Gumby Greg, the sole DNF at this point in the race. And we'll go up to RZM McQueen coming out of the final, right-hander, and across the line, RZM McQueen picking up where he left off there in week number 3, has now gone back to back to back here in season 37. It started out at Circuit de la Sarthe at Le Mans, the old Mulsanne, then the mini circuit in reverse at Rio de Janeiro, and now here at Road Atlanta. Let's go to third with Slipstream. And Slipstream will hold on to third. Audrex will finish fourth. Carryout in fifth. Let's go to Born as Ghost, who is in seventh, back behind Fear the Fun. Just not enough time to catch up. Fear the Fun will finish in sixth, just outside of the top 10. Excuse me, out of the top 5. Then Born as Ghost. Then it's Joe Beardy, Soul Motion Fire, Foontang, Chaos Fox. Your top 11. All right, folks. Well, there you go. Who had RZM McQueen going 3 in a row here in season 37? I mean, might have anticipated, might have expected him to win a few races. That was not unforeseen. But back to back to back now over the last 3. Very well done. I'm going to go ahead and take note of where everybody finished. We'll see if we can have a chat with a driver or two in our driver spotlight. Run some ads here. For those of you who are not subscribers of the channel, you can avoid these ads in the future, albeit you're not missing anything. I promise you. It's just me doing a little behind-the-scenes stuff along with Slow Motion Fire. But if you'd like to avoid the ads and help support the broadcast that much more, a Twitch subscription will do the trick, and you'll get your recognition here during our next qualifying session. You'll get that lower third graphic going, and I'll say all the kind words to you and all that good stuff. But in the meantime, if you're not a sub, please sit through the ads. It does support the channel, and it prevents those who might be joining us a little bit later on in the broadcast from having to see those pre-roll ads. So that's always a good thing. And then I promise you on the back half, we'll be back in plenty of time before any more racing action kicks off here this evening. You're watching Season 37, the Forza Spec Racing Series, here live on Xventure. We'll be back after the commercial break. And welcome back to X Venture here, live on Twitch TV. Week number 4 of Season 37 in the Forza Spec Racing Series is halfway through, with RZ and McQueen picking up the win at Road Atlanta, the full circuit there. 19 laps in the books, and he picks up the win in a big way, coming off of the 2 victories there in week number 3. So we're on something of a McQueen hot streak here. No question. Nürburgring GP is up next. We'll be heading out there for qualifying in just a few minutes. And then it'll be week 5, a week from tonight, the final race. That means, yes, we only have 2 races remaining here this season. Just 2 races remaining. Who will come away as the champion? The driver who does have the most championship points at the end of it all. After Slow Motion Fire takes your top 4 weeks worth of points, that champion gets to pick the vehicle in season number 38. A nice little perk there. So maybe you have a favorite vehicle in Forza Motorsport 7 and you win the championship and you want everybody else to have to race that vehicle. Well, you could do that. Or you could pick something off the wall, oddball, have a little fun with it. It's really up to you. We've gone in all sorts of directions. Coming out of the EB110 in Season 36, we had the Ford F100 back in Season 33, I think it was. Fiat X19s one season. VW Scirocco. All kinds of good stuff. Craytrim finishing in second. McQueen, who entered week number 3, second over on the leaderboard, is looking like he's going to jump up to the top spot here heading into that final race out at Sebring, especially if he can get another victory here at the Nürburgring GP. Stevie Superstacks, who is not out on the track tonight, hopefully we'll see him in week number 5, third on the leaderboard with 188 now, depending on everybody else's worst week. That could move Stevie one way or the other, more likely down than up. So we'll see what happens with Stevie's position here a week from tonight. Audrex there with 173. Audrex finishing in third. A solid run there by Audrex. Let's go ahead and go to the driver's spotlight. And surprise, surprise, we don't usually get to hear from Slow Motion Fire this early on in the season. And by early, I mean we typically don't hear from you until the end of the season. But Slow, what's going on?
Oh, just enjoying the racing tonight.
You said you didn't know what happened. So what are you referring to? What point did something go awry?
Oh, it didn't go awry. The last couple laps there, I think it was the second to last lap, Bourne, Joe, Fear, and myself somehow went 4 wide through the final corner. And I think we're all still in just awe of how we managed to do that.
Did anybody across comms say, hey, guys, this might not be a good idea, or did you guys just gun it and run it there knowing it was the last lap?
It just kind of happened in the blink of an eye. I don't think anybody was planning on it.
Well, I noticed that there was quite a bit of shifting in position. I think you had fallen back all the way as far as 11th at one point there on that final lap, and then as a result of that 4-way battle there toward the end, you did break into the top 10 just in front of Funtang. So it looks like you actually benefited from that last bit of tomfoolery.
No, it was the other way around. I'd chased down Fear and had gotten up to 6th and then dropped down to 9th. So I went from 6th to 9th in one corner.
Well, no, that we did see. We did see your battle there with Fear the Fun for a little bit. You got out in front of him through turns 2 and 3, and then he was able to get back around you there at 7 and 8. But I mean, I think you did fall out of the top 10 at least momentarily there toward the end, and then you were able to re-secure that 9th position. Either way, a good run for you there in our first race of the evening. Tell us, as the organizer, it looked like maybe there was a little bit of a false start there at the back of the pack for the race, but the decision ultimately came down to say, hey, let's continue on with the event.
Yeah, there was an issue with one of the cars kind of twitching on the start, and then that caused a couple people to jump, but I don't think anyone that jumped actually gained an advantage. We'll look at the restart here. We just kind of continued with it.
Sounds good. Yeah, that's one way to do it, is just go ahead and press on, and if any adjustments need to be made later, then do so. That's not typical there of the Forza Spec Racing Series. I know you guys are pretty much, hey, mistakes happen, incidents happen, things happen. We'll take the finishes as they come, and if there are any needs to make adjustments, those are few and far between. Talking with Slow Motion Fire here in the driver spotlight. If you can give our viewers just kind of a little bit of a heads up into the methodology here, we're going to qualify on the Nürburgring track as Forza Motorsport 7 has it set up, and then during the race we'll actually use an extension there of the NGK chicane. So is there any rationale there, or is it just something that's kind of preference for the drivers?
As this game ages, we're just trying to find new layouts to the tracks we have to keep it fresh and interesting. So since that's an option with the tire walls gone, we figured we'd run that tonight.
Gotcha. Well, I look forward to it, mixing it up a little bit. If there was one track that you could whisper into the ear of the developers in Forza or Turn 10 Studios to say, hey, let's try to mix it up with tracks in the next Forza Motorsport title, what track would you really love to see come up next?
Oh, man. I'd probably, just because I raced them in Lemons, it would be one of the more obscure local tracks, either like a Joliet or a Gingerman or something like that. so I could practice.
You're getting really niche there. I don't even know what part of the country you might be talking, or what part of the globe you might be talking about.
Oh yeah, total pipe dream. But if I had my choice.
Very good, very good. Well, this is a track that I'm looking forward to. Slow Motion Fire. I'm going to look to you to kind of set up my Twitch prediction poll here. Where are we seeing like the average times rounding out for the M3 around the Nürburgring? Do you have an idea?
Oh, you're putting me on the spot here, and I should have been paying more attention. If you'd asked me about Road America, I would have had a good time for you, but I have not practiced here as much as I should have.
Not so much here. Okay, no worries. We'll come up with something else. But Slow Motion Fire, good chatting with you here at this point in the season. It's looking like it's going to come down to the wire here in week number 5, a week from tonight. But, man, looking forward to this GP race.
Oh, I am too. This should be a good one.
All right, we'll see you on the other side.
We'll see it.
All right, Slow Motion Fire getting things underway. All the drivers pretty much readied up. It looks like Carry Out and Raccoon, the only ones yet to ready up. And it would seem that we have Gumby Greg, who fell out of the first race of the evening, has either decided or the internet connection is not going to permit him to run here in the second race of the evening, which means we have now dropped down to 20 drivers, which is the same 20 that finished there in the Road Atlanta race. So we've got all those folks. It's just Gumby Greg that we're not going to see back out on the track. And any second now, we should get the qualifying. So let's get a predictor going here. Last one we did was whether or not McQueen would finish on pole. For this one, let's go with let's see. Carry Out is saying 2:23. Let's do this. Will the top qualifying time be 24.0? Let's go 24. Let's do 2:24. Well, I'm seeing Born as Ghost saying 2:19s. Let's actually do 2:23 or 2:23.1 or slower. The top qualifying time will be 2:23 or 2:23.1 or slower. So there you go. You've got 5 minutes now to set your guess based on what some of the info that our drivers are providing. Now, what they've been able to accomplish in maybe practice sessions could be different from what they actually accomplish here during qualifying, because there's a little bit more intimidation. You've got 19 other cars out on the track sharing space with you. Yeah, they're ghosted, but you still see them. So it could impact how well you see into the apex, and if it throws you off just the slightest, then maybe you won't be as quick as you would have if you were just running it alone during your own little hot lapping session. We've got a couple of drivers posting their predictions. Not drivers, a couple of viewers posting their predictions, and it can be drivers. Drivers want to participate as well. Use your channel points to go ahead and decide, will the top qualifying time be a 2:23? It should say a 2:23 or quicker, or a 2:23.1 or slower. That's 2:23 or quicker there for your first option. Pardon me for missing that. Let's go to Funtang. Funtang finishing 10th out at Road Atlanta, and that's actually pretty well done considering we had a look at his vehicle damage statistics, and he had 8% damage. 8% damage to the transmission. What's up there, Shirt? Shirt saying, let's go Kuda. Cheering on Kuda as Funtang coming around the final right-hander, which I think is turn 14 or 15. And now across the line, back into the Yokohama S. Let's go to Kuda. We got Shirt in here cheering Kuda on from the pit lane, our Twitch chat. Get those votes in. You're actually going to be able to vote. The way that I actually put too much time on this one, and I think you'll be able to vote all the way up till almost the end of lap number 3. Now here comes Kuda. Out of the Schumacher S. Into the left-hander. The Tic Tac car. I like it. Beamer World and Tic Tac. It's quite the pair of sponsorships. I've said it once, I've said it twice, I'll say it a gazillion times. The drivers do a bang-on job getting themselves ready for each season. That means not only testing the vehicle and its spec setup to determine what they've got to do, what kind of little finite adjustments they may need to make to the whatever components can be tuned, but then they also make the cars look good. And that's the beauty of the Forza Spec Racing Series, is each and every season you got a little bit of time to tinker with the tuning, because you can tune whatever vehicle options are tunable. All the upgrades are the same from car to car. That doesn't change. Look at Joe Beardy with a 223.505. DOR Carry-On out with a 223, now 221 there for McQueen. So those of you who said that a 223 or better, congrats. You've won this one. I put too much time on the predictor there. Too much time. We'll go ahead and we'll start another one. Will McQueen go back to back to back to back yes or no. And you'll have, we'll go with 10 minutes here. In short, will McQueen win his 4th straight race here in season number 37? If he can do so here at the GP, that will be 4 straight victories, which is not easy to accomplish here in the Forza Spec Racing Series, as we see Chaos getting around the track. Chaos Fox currently with the 10th quickest time. It's McQueen with the top time now with a 2:21.048. Then Cratrium, then Audrex, and Carryout. Let's go to Carryout, who is in and out of the NGK chicane. And that's where they are running in line with the Forza expectations. The Forza Motorsport 7 track limits. However, during the race, they will actually go a little bit further, just a smidge further there through that NGK chicane to the next chicane. Just keeping it fresh there, as Slow Motion Fire was telling us. And now across the line here on this 3rd and final qualifying lap come our drivers. Let's go to Cratrium now as he gets ready to cross the line. Can he clock the quickest time? As qualifying wraps up here, that's where we get that weird little audio bug or glitch. And there are their times. I'm going to go ahead and restart the Twitch predictor here. I got it going a little bit early, but now we'll start it back up. Will McQueen pick up his 4th straight victory, or back-to-back here with a win out at the Nürburgring GP? Cast your votes. Put them there in the Twitch predictor. I'll see if there's anybody joining us here in the driver's spotlight ahead of this race, this 2nd and final race of the evening, and our final race of the season before the grand finale 1 week from tonight out there at Sebring in the rain. Joe Beardy with that 2:23. Really quick there for Joe. He'll be in row number 2. Nope. It looks like Joe will fall back to row number 3 or 4. Kudo with a 2:26, a 2:24 there for Disco Joint, 2:25, 4:20 for Funtang. AP1 Raccoon with a dirtied 2:25. I'll put Raccoon there at the back of the pack. A 2:22 for Carryout. Well done. McQueen with that 2:21.048. Good enough for pole. 2:23 for Jacob T. BOED. Slipstream with a 2:25, a 2:24 for Barney, 2:21 for Cratrium. That'll be good for row number 1 outside of McQueen. 2:32 for Beer, a 2:25, 8:58 for Fox, Chaos Fox. Audrex with a 2:22, a 2:26 for Fox Jason D, a 2:23 for Fear the Fun. Slow Motion Fire coming in with a 2:24, a 2:26, 755 for Modern, and Born as Ghost with a 2:23, 115. All right, folks, cast your vote. Oh, look at this. We've got a lot of you saying that you expect McQueen to go 4 straight. So if somebody, we don't have a vote for it yet, but if somebody goes the opposite direction with it and says McQueen will not finish with 4 straight wins here at the Nürburgring, then you're looking at picking up a good chunk of channel points. There's 1.5 that have been wagered for yes right now. So if you want to vote the opposite way for the sake of doing so, here's one way to look at it. You might win enough points to get yourself an easy entry into the fall raffle. Yeah, the fall raffle coming at you here a week from tonight is when we close it up. And thanks to the support of viewers like you through the Twitch subscriptions, the ongoing Twitch subscriptions, and a few bit donations, I think, here over the last month or so, because of those, have been able to bring this fall raffle to fruition. One lucky winner a week from tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, and you don't have to be present to win. You don't have to be present to win. All you have to do is put entries in. One lucky winner off of our X Venture Wheel of Luck will get their choice of a $50 PlayStation Store, Xbox, or Steam digital gift card. The first two, the store, the PlayStation Store and the Xbox, those are U.S. residents only. If you are outside of the United States and you win, you can opt for the Steam gift card, which will have my $50 American currency converted into your currency there on the Steam platform. My apologies if you are outside the States and you don't have a PC gaming rig. I do what I can to try to accommodate a lot of folks. I do what I can. We still got a lot of time on that Twitch predictor. Everybody's saying yes, so even if they don't get it right, they'll get all their points back. So anybody who wants to be daring and go out on a limb and say that McQueen will not win this race, make sure you cast your vote now. The poll is, or the predictor is about halfway through before it closes. You want to do it. You want to do it soon. I don't see anybody in the interview section. We'll probably get a good chunk of drivers here after this race, as we normally do. It's usually what happens each week here in the Forza Spec Racing Series. They become chatterboxes at the end after the two races are all said and done. There we go. We got one driver. I keep saying driver. It's not a driver. We got one person who said that, no, McQueen will not win his fourth straight race here in Season 37. We got one driver. I got to get off this whole driver thing. We got one person who's trying to take home the big pot of channel points here. Well, and you are also a driver, Caster Raccoon. You're a subscriber, you're a driver, and you're on the no side of our Twitch predictor. You're all things right now. 20 drivers in the lobby, getting ready for 13 laps here at the Nürburgring GP. And if the cars looked great out there at Road Atlanta, which they did, they're going to look even better out here at the Nürburgring GP. I love this track. Ever since it debuted back in Forza Motorsport 3, I think it was downloadable content for Forza Motorsport 3, which is kind of where Turn 10 Studios learned, okay, that kind of divides our player base whenever we have downloadable track content, paid track content. And so we haven't seen paid tracks reintroduced since. But that was the first time that I ever experienced the Nürburgring GP, I think, in any racing game. I don't know that I've ever raced the GP circuit on any other game. And that version of this track back then was very, very bumpy. Very, very bumpy. And either the Nürburgring GP was smoothed out in the real world, and as a result they smoothed it out here in the virtual world, or maybe it wasn't that bumpy in the real world, and so they smoothed it out in the virtual world to make it more realistic. Either way, the track runs a lot cleaner, a lot smoother than before. What I do sorely miss about the Nürburgring GP of old, in the early years of Forza Motorsport, was that we had more options. We had more track options. We're down to 2 track options, I think. Actually, no, we only have one. It's either Nürburgring GP, or if you want to race the GP in any other configuration, you've got to do the 24-hour Nürburgring setup. Bah humbug. Where did those other circuits go? All right, here we go. We're loaded up out at the Nürburgring GP. Cratrim on the inside here with McQueen on the outside to get lined up for the Yokohama S. McQueen, who is the pole sitter, will dictate the start of this race. A little flinch there. It got Fear the Fun and somebody else, whoever that is in third position. Drex got them to flinch a bit. And now here we go. Kick the tires. Light the fires. Race number 8 here in season 37 out the Nürburgring GP in the 2005 BMW M3 is underway. McQueen trying to go back to back to back to back here in season 37. We've got 2 wide, a little bit further back in the pack, but from first on back to 5th, it's single file formation into the Mercedes arena. Drex there in the Ryzen liveried M3 in third position. Carry out in 4th. Fear the Fun in 5th. Born as Ghost is 6th. Jacob T in 7th. Joe Beardy, who qualified quite nicely. He's currently running in 8th. LS Barney in 9th. Disco Joint rounds out the top 10 in the early portion of lap number 1. Now down the hill they'll go into the International Hairpin, although I don't think this is named International. I'm just calling it that because of all the flags there in the grandstands. But now here into the Hairpin they'll go up to the Schumacher S, which is, I think, one of the more difficult corners here of the track. You're coming uphill, carrying a lot of speed because you're revving the motor back up after slowing it down out of the hairpin there. And then you got to be very careful because that dirt trap on the inside of the Schumacher S, it is unforgiving. Now into turn 10, up to 11, and then they'll start that push down that back straightaway toward the NGK chicane. Now we're going to see our first couple of drivers here, McQueen and Cratrim, barrel into those styrofoam aero boards up ahead. That's okay. That's by design. They are going to the second chicane, and actually it looks like they're cones. They're not even the aero boards. They're full-on cones. So for those of you with your Kappa cones there in our chat, you can go ahead and throw those in there as they kick a few of those around. Now back out of the right-hander toward the start-finish line. And just as they qualified, McQueen in first, Cratrim in second, Drex in third, Born as Ghost in 4th now. Fear the Fun in 5th. Carryout has dropped back to 6th. Barney in 7th. Jacob, Joe Beardy, Chaos Fox are 8th, 9th, and 10th. Then it's Foontang, Disco Joint, Slow Motion Flyer, AP1 Raccoon, Z827 up to 15th. Let's drop back a little bit to Carryout in 6th. Carryout gets the back end loose a little bit as he rolls over the rumble strip coming out of turn number 4. Now you start carving the corners here. Very slalom-like section here. Starting to head downhill toward the hairpin. Comes out cleanly there and avoids the rock trap off to the left. Fear the Fun looking to be passed there by Born as Ghost, but it seems as if Fear the Fun is held on to it for right now. There's Born as Ghost in the Liqui Moly car in 5th as they head back up the hill. Nice sunny skies. Mostly cloudy sky, but it is sunny out on the track. No chance of rain here in this race. As a matter of fact, our first and only precipitation-based race will come in the finale out there at Sebring in Florida. Here comes Born as Ghost. Nice line there, touching the apex, rolls up onto the runoff area. That artificial turf surface. Now through the kink. Making the charge there toward the NGK with Fear the Fun out in front of him in 4th. In 6th, that's Carryout. Barney in 7th. Jacob, Beardy, Chaos Fox. They're still 7, 8, 9, and 10. As we get ready to wrap up lap number 2. Nice train of cars as the field starts to thin itself out. Not a lot of side-by-side racing here down the front straightaway to begin lap 3. Let's drop back now to, we got a whole cluster of cars. Let's go to Chaos Fox, who's now in 12th. In that Scrubs Go Racing car. Going to look to the inside there of, it's going to be Foontang. Let's see if he can make it stick. Here goes Chaos. I was going to say up onto the door panel there of Foontang, but didn't even make any contact, and they keep it clean still. Chaos Fox runs a little bit wide, but makes the pass and is back up to 11th. Foontang now on the low line. Slow motion fire on the outside. Now they switch it up coming into the next corner, but there goes Chaos Fox running that corner wide. That's going to allow Foontang to reclaim 11th. And slow motion fire and Raccoon and Slipstream. Chaos Fox at risk of getting quadruple passed here on lap 3. That's the racing version of the quadruple bypass. And probably a much more preferred version. Wow, look at just all the traffic here from, what is that, 10th, actually 11th of Foontang on back to 18th of Kuda. Such a cluster of cars. There goes Raccoon, going to run it wide, as so many drivers often do there through turn 10. Let's go to Joe Beardy in 9th. And even though he's since lost position there, Chaos Fox did. Let's go back to making that move there on Foontang. So well choreographed. Not scripted by any means, but to be able to keep the racing so clean there, Chaos Fox did run it wide out of the corner, but really didn't have much of a choice. And for the time being there, at least in our replay, was back up to 11th. Now Chaos Fox has returned to 12th. Disco Joint getting a little bit hot there into turn number 1. Almost up onto the back bumper of Joe Beardy, was able to miss. Saved. And now Joe Beardy definitely up onto the rocker panel there of LS Barney, the Lightspeed team. McQueen, our race leader, Cratrim in second. It's almost a photocopy here of the first race out at Road Atlanta. There goes Joe Beardy. Locks up all 4 tires, really. I think I saw all 4 of them lock up. And I'm Dustin Moore on the microphone here, as always on X-Venture. If you're enjoying the content, please click that like button or that follow button, much like Monos did earlier on here in this broadcast. Get a little bit of recognition down below. You'll trip the little alert there, and that way it makes it that much easier to find the X-Venture channel when we go live next. Let's go to carry out, 6th position. I know we had a good battle there of about 4 or 5 cars, but let's go see how things are faring here for carry out in 6th. Kind of starting to really get thinned out here. Born as Ghost, a good second and a half out in front in 5th. Fear the Fun is in 4th. Audrex in 3rd. Cratrim does seem to be keeping pace with McQueen, at least so far. We'll see if he's able to do that for another 15 laps or so. Or actually, not even that many, 10. Make it 9. Let's go to LS Barney here in 8th. Joe Beardy and Disco joined it. Looks like Joe definitely ran out wide and touched the soft stuff, because he is really slowed up. And as a matter of fact, did he damage his vehicle there through that final corner somehow? because he looked really off the pace down the front straightaway. No, he just really got slowed up there in the sand trap, apparently. Back to 10th he goes. Let's go to ZA27 in 17th position. Back behind AP1 Raccoon in the Falcon tire. BMW M3. Again, 276 horsepower, 289 foot-pounds of torque, and coming in at a pretty hefty 3,678 pounds curb weight. However, our driver is telling us all throughout season 37 here that this car has been very manageable. Not bad at cornering, and Z827 is going to put on a little smoke show there for us. But no big gripes about the car that we have heard, at least from the drivers. Here comes Joe Beardy in 10th with Funtang in 9th, and we've seen quite the shuffling of the deck here from about 7th on back to 15th. And now Carryout has significantly closed the gap here on Born as Ghost compared to what we saw a lap ago. So let's see here what happens as they head down that back straightaway and that NGK chicane. Carryout getting off the track. I was mentioning, if you follow us and you have those notifications set up, you'll know the next time X Venture goes live. And the next time we will go live is not Saddle Up Sunday. Wrong graphic. Let's try this one. Yeah, it's our Hauling for the Weekend broadcast this Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern. Hopping into American Truck Simulator. Be exploring more of the state of Colorado, the latest downloadable content coming, or that has come to the American Truck Simulator, and then we'll talk about what's coming up next for American Truck Simulator. Hint, it's a state of many bison. Many bison, not many, but many bison. This Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern, right here on X Venture. Funtang, they're in 9th here on lap number 6. 6 of 13. Cratrium now starting to peel back from McQueen. Audrex in 3rd. Fear the Fun in 4th. Born as Ghost is 5th. Carryout, as we were watching there for a moment, in 6th. But it's this battle from 7th, 8th, 9th, on back to 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th. Oh, it's a big one. Let me run through the names. That's more important than just numbers. Jacob TBOED, LS Barney in 8th, Funtang, Joe Beardy is 10th, Disco joined in 11th, Slow Motion Fire, then Slipstream, Chaos Fox, Cuda, Raccoon, Z827, then Modern Weapon back there in 18th position. Just a big old train of cars. Wyoming, asked DWM Frog. It's looking that way. It's looking that way. Based on a teaser that SCS Software already put out. I'm actually quite surprised they've already put one out. I almost said Denver. The Colorado DLC landed, what, not more than 4 weeks ago? And now they're already teasing the next one, which would be great if we get it soon. Keep them coming. It's kind of rapid fire with them. Let's go to Joe Beardy. Joe Beardy, one of those drivers that I've had an eye on for quite some time, has shown some great promise, some awesome driving ability. More so in the earlier seasons. I don't know if it was because of the car that he really liked or what it was, and then started to trail off a little bit, and then has shown some big-time improvement here in Season 37. And so for some drivers, it's just a matter of the car that's being run in any one season. Because they are a one-make, one-model car all throughout each season, it takes a little bit before you get to the next vehicle and the next opportunity to to show your stuff. So who knows if Joe Beardy gets behind the wheel of the right car, we could be seeing him back up near the top 5, maybe in season 38. We just don't know what that vehicle is going to be. It's going to be the champion who decides that. And the awesome thing here about season 37 is we got 2 drivers who are in the thick of it who have not ever won a Forza Spec Racing Series championship. They're trying to make it their first here in season 37, whereas Cratrim, who's currently in second in this race behind McQueen, Cratrim trying to make it his 10th. One of the more seasoned drivers here in FM4. Let's go to Jacob T. Boed in 9th. Back up the Schumacher S. And Joe Beardy grabs a little bit of dirt. Let's take a lap around the track. Slow motion fire currently running in 12th. And look at all that traffic. Slow motion fire getting a little bit of a love tap there from Slipstream as they went into the final right-hander. He was able to sort it out and stay in 12th, but Slipstream knocking on the door now as they go into turn number 1. That a Yokohama S corner, and there comes Chaos Fox, who's in 14th. Maybe can go for a double pass here if Slow and Slip get too caught up with each other. Chaos Fox with an 11th place finish out there at Road Atlanta. Speaking of somebody who's having a great run, Born is Ghost in 5th with DOR Carryout in 6th. These two kind of on their own little island here. But well done, Born is Ghost. Born is Ghost with 145 points, tied with Fear the Fun coming into week number 4. And had a 5th place finish out at Road Atlanta. So Carryout looking to leapfrog Fear the Fun in the points going into the 5th and final week. Back to 10th with Disco Joint. Disco Joint off the track, but that's okay because of that short little straightaway section right there. Disco was able to make a quick recovery in the Mammoth Barrel Stout No Coast Brewing car. It's just such a big cluster of cars there. I mean, we haven't, I don't know that we've had such a large grouping here in season 37. From 7th still all the way back to, I mean, they have shed a few of the cars, but all the way back to 14th. And LSM Barney there with Joe Beardy. Let's go to Barney. Down the front straightaway. The Lightspeed Esports member of Barney. He's going to go to the inside of Joe Beardy, and I think he's going to make it stick. Well done there by Barney. One heck of a pass. That's how you do it, folks. No dive bomb necessary. Just grab that apex and hug it all the way through. Now Joe Beardy here through the Mercedes arena. He's going to be able to reclaim position now into turn number 4. Can Barney go back? No, he's not. And as a matter of fact, he's at risk of dropping back a spot now to Disco Joint. That was one heck of a pass there by Barney. He just couldn't carry enough momentum. And now Disco Joint gets caught up there with Barney on the rear left quarter panel. Has them both slide out a little bit. Recovery's made. And now Disco Joint in 10th drops back off of Barney's bumper a little bit. Gives him a chance to breathe. As we see there, the exit of turn number 1 with Barney out in front. And then you got Joe Beardy coming up onto the inside through the Mercedes Arena. Able to reclaim position. Very well done there by Joe. Our race leader remains to be RZM McQueen. Cratrim, not too far back. He doesn't find himself as far back as he was out there at Road Atlanta. However, it is a pretty big gap still at this point. In third, it's Audrex. Fourth is Fear the Fun, and Fear the Fun is closing in on Audrex. There goes Barney. All up onto the rumble strips, the curbing there. Not the rumble strips, but the curving through the NGK chicane, holding on to 9th. And so Fear the Fun in 4th, Born as Ghost in 5th. With Carry Out behind him in 6th, Funsang in 7th, Joe Beardy in 8th, then Barney and Disco Joint. Then you've got Slipstream, Slow Motion Fire, Jacob, and Chaos Fox back to 14th. DWM Frog, loving it. Let's go to Slip. Slipstream looking to the inside. Coming up to the hairpin. Here comes Slip. Nope. I thought maybe he was going to go for it. He does not. And instead, stays outside the top 10 for now. Slow Motion Fire back there in 12th. Slip was able to make that pass a few laps back. Disco Joint a little bit harder to come by. Then Barney and then Joe Beardy. Fotang starting to run away with 7th. Let's go to 2nd with Cratrim as he comes down the front straightaway. RZM McQueen, you see the gap there as we peer down that front straightaway, and just as he's coming across the line, McQueen starting the drop into turn number 1. And it is a bit of a drop. You don't see it a lot here, but if you're riding and driving one of these BMWs, you definitely notice it. You're dropping down into turn number 1, which is oftentimes what has a lot of folks misjudging that corner, on top of the fact that you're just flat out down that front straightaway. Then Audrex, who has gone ahead and left Fear the Fun in the dust a little bit at this point here on lap 11. Born as Ghost, Carry Out, Funtang, Joe Beardy, Disco, Barney, and Slipstream. Let's go back to Barney. I mean, really, this battle to see who's going to finish in the top 10 is probably one of the more impressive mid-pack battles we've seen all throughout season 37. I mean, there most certainly has been drivers neck and neck at this in this portion of the field. However, to have so many in one spot is something a little bit unique here at the GP, the Nürburgring GP circuit. Barney now through 4. All right, we'll try this one again. Yes, Saddle Up Sunday, Episode 3 of my Red Dead Redemption 2 playthrough this Sunday. We picked up with the Vander Lynn gang out at Horseshoe Overlook, and we'll continue that here. Episode 3 this Sunday, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. You can catch up with episode 1 and 2 in our past broadcast section. Good stuff. I'm looking forward to seeing what else will transpire here as things continue to get very interesting for Dutch and crew. Red Dead Redemption 2. I've played through it once, but being able to play through it on stream is a whole nother beast, and it's a lot of fun. Carryout looked like it was maybe off the track a little bit. Of course, that might be because of the way that Forza Motorsport 7 wants you to run the map. They are running through that second chicane there on the back straightaway, the second portion of the NGK, as opposed to the first chicane that Forza wants you to run. Just keeping it fresh, changing it up for the drivers here. And now, first through 7th, starting to firm itself up here. McQueen in first, Cratrim in second, Audrex, Fear the Fun, Born as Ghost, Carryout. It really is 7th through 12th. That's most interesting. Here comes Barney. Getting passed by Slow. Slow with another well-executed maneuver, at least what we've been able to see here on the broadcast. He had another one, or he had one out there at Road Atlanta. And does it again here through turn 2, between 2 and 3 at the Nürburgring. Our race leader, McQueen, now on the latter three quarters done here on lap number 12, finishing the final quarter before crossing the line, getting that white flag from the flag stand. Let's go to Slipstream in 10th. Slip, who finished in 4th, was unable to get around Audrex for the entirety of that race out at Road Atlanta. Oh, and some contact there. Barney in slow motion fire. Looks like Barney got into the inside of Slow at turn 10. Slow was able to maintain the car and stays in 11th position. Barney there in 12th. Chaos Fox back in 13th with Jacob TBOED in 14th. Here comes Slip. And here's where I was talking about. They go through the second chicane there. They blew on through the cones earlier on lap 1. And now across the line for the final lap, McQueen already halfway done with lap 13. And I know I sound like a broken record, but barring any sort of change, a dramatic change of events, McQueen will in fact go back to back to back to back. That's 4 times, folks, with a season 37 victory in a row, dating back to last week's Circuit de la Sarthe, Rio de Janeiro, and then tonight's Road Atlanta and Nürburgring GP. That's going to make him the one to beat there in week number 5. No question. Will Stevie return? Stevie Superstacks. Will Cratrim be able to turn things around? Because week 5, being that it's just one race, all Cratrim has to do is win that one race there in week 5 and picks up 100 points. So McQueen's had to do it the hard way here these last 2 weeks, win 4 races just to get 200 points, where Cratrim can get 100 in one fell swoop. And now coming across the line with his 4th straight victory here in Season 37 in the 2005 BMW M3, RZM McQueen picking up the win. Heading into the finale, Cratrim in 2nd, Audrex will get 3rd, Fear the Fun in 4th, Born as Ghost will get 5th, assuming he does not mess it up here in the final couple of corners. DOR Carry Out in 6th. Let's go to Disco Joint in 9th. This is where we have our closest battle. Food-Tang up there in 7th, Joe Beardy in 8th. Can Disco make a pass? Couple wheels up onto the first curbing, then the second curbing. Now into the final right-hander, and all kinds of damage there on the front of Disco Joint's car. He's going to get right up onto the back bumper. There goes the sparks, and now down the front straightaway. They're going to make it a drag race. Disco Joint to the inside, Joe Beardy on the outside, and Joe will be able to hold off Disco Joint as they come across the line. 8th and 9th, Joe, Disco Joint, respectively. Slipstream in 10th. Slow Motion Fire in 11th. LSCM Barney is in 12th. Can Jacob get around? Jacob, yes! Jacob has it. From what I could tell, that should be a 12th place finish for Jacob. 13th for Barney. Chaos in 14th, I do believe. That's how I'm calling it. Kuda in 15th. Z827 in 16th. Modern in 17th, AP1 Raccoon in 18th, Fox Jason D. Let's go to the X Venture Rewind, which may be able to clear that up for us, and unfortunately it doesn't. Again, I'm too late on the button to have photo evidence, but as I saw it, it was Jacob T, then Barney, then Fox, Chaos Fox. I'm going to take note of where everybody finished. Slow Motion Fire will do the same. We'll come back. We'll talk to some of our drivers here in the driver's spotlight ahead of next Tuesday's finale out at Sebring. Don't miss it. We'll be right back. You're watching X Venture in the Forza Spec Racing Series here live on Twitch TV. I'm Dustin Moore. Hang tight. We'll see you on the flip side. And we're back. DWM Frog there in the chat saying, wow, Borna's Go is saying 12th place shootout. Indeed it was. And like I said, from at least my vantage point, the camera, although it wasn't situated in the best position to make a definitive call, the way I see it, it was Jacob, then Barney, then Chaos Fox, 12th, 13th, 14th. We'll see if Slow Motion Fire recorded them the same as he tallies up all the points here after week number 4, leaving us just one race remaining. Week 5, Sebring. Not under the lights, but under the rainy skies. That's how things are going to go. It'll be a full-on heavy rain for the start of that one with looming clouds at 100%. So the rain will stop. No question about that. The rain will stop about midway through that race, and then it has a 40% chance to rain on the latter half, or the latter portion, not the latter half. If we were to dissect the race into thirds, that final third of the race has a 40% chance of moderate rain. So not even light showers, but a chance for moderate rain after heavy rain at the first third of the race. So that's going to be a real interesting one. You can't I don't know that we can definitively say that McQueen is in line for 5 straight wins, although coming out of week number 4 and week 3 it certainly seems that way. But the rain has a funny way of changing things up. And then on top of that, being that it's a 30-lap race out at Sebring and the only race, that means it is a bit of an endurance event, which has you sorting out pit strategy. And because it is in the rain with tires, wet tires, that will then meet the not raining conditions 2/3 of the way through. When do you go in and get a fresh set of tires so that you're not chewing through those too much, losing traction, and then set yourself up for success through the final third of the race with enough grip to get you to the end if it doesn't rain, because then the tires will stay warm all the way through that race to the end and the checker flag. Big questions to be answered as we look to conclude things here in season 37 next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Fear the Fun joins us as usual. Like clockwork, we can expect you in here, Fear the Fun. You had a 6th place finish out at Road Atlanta, then you finish in the top 5, 4th place out here at the Nürburgring GP. Well done, sir.
Thank you.
We saw, and I don't know, we had the Twitch predictor on you there for the Road Atlanta race, whether or not you'd be able to finish in the top 5. You got darn close before giving it up there to Carry Out, which put you back in 6th. Did the pressure or the lack thereof of the Twitch predictor make things a little bit easier for you here at the GP, or did you not even pay any attention to any of that?
I didn't. Well, honestly, I'm streaming myself, so I didn't have the volume on yours turned up. But T-Phrase came in before race 1 and kept saying, "I'm watching you, I'm watching you," and I didn't know who it was because it didn't sound like T-Phrase. So I was like, "Who the hell keeps saying I'm watching you?" I'm sorry for the cuss word. And I go down to the Discord chat, and there's T-Phrase. I'm like, oh, of course it's T-Phrase.
Man, speak of a name that we haven't heard of for some time, but then have him drop into the racer comms and taunt you a little bit. That's something else. Man, you did have some great battles here. You weren't able to get up to Drex there on that on the race out at the Nürburgring GP, but yeah, you and Carry Out for quite some time, and you actually even I think fell back to like 8th in that race at one point before making the recovery back up to 6th.
I think I got it was either between 11th and 13th, and it was nobody's fault but my own. I thought I saw McQueen jump or roll a little bit, so I went when he rolled, and then nobody else went, so I hit the brakes and I tried to go in reverse, and when I was in reverse, everybody went. So I fell back in the first lap, and I think I did a little bit of transmission damage when that happened. So I was down transmission damage, chasing back up to get the 6th.
Gotcha. We did hear something. Somebody said that in the chat, our pit lane here on the broadcast saying that you had dropped into reverse somehow and then had to recover. Slow Motion Fire now going to turn on the waterworks, and I'm not talking about the tears, but making it rain out at Sebring. Have you already started doing a little bit of prep work for that, or is that what you've got in store for you here over the next week?
The prep I've done was the test and tune week when we went through all the tracks and racing and whatnot. I have not practiced. I have not done anything in the rain.
Not done anything in the rain. Okay. All right. Well, we'll see how that works out for you. You. Of course, with a week of preparation, plenty of time to still get everything sorted out. You came into week number 4, tied for 5th place with Born as Ghost, 145 points. Born as Ghost, let me see here.
He finished behind me both times.
Yeah, finished behind
me.
Yeah, finished behind you both times. So good for you. Not so great for Born as Ghost. Are you going to be able to hold on to that top 5 all the way through the finale?
I don't know if he gets a better if he finishes higher than me next week. I think we're in a dead heat tie.
Oh wow, that would be interesting.
Because if it's double points and he finishes one place ahead of me, then we're in a tie. But if we're not, if I finish in front of him or he finishes more places in front of me than one, then I lose and I'm 6th in points.
Well, we can't have. For the top 5 or the 5th place finish overall on the leaderboard, we can't have a tie. So we'd have to work with Slow Motion Fire to have some sort of shootout.
I think it's determined by drop week points, and I think I either got a 15th or a 16th, and he's got a 17th.
Gotcha.
So if it comes down to that, then it's a tie.
Well, hey, I was just wanting to have more racing and a shootout nonetheless. That'd be fun. Talk with Fear the Fun here in the Driver's Spotlight at the conclusion of week number 4. All right, so this is the proverbial question. This is nothing new. I'm not throwing a curveball at you, but no matter who the champion is, whether it be McQueen, Kracham, or even Stevie Superstack, if he shows up in week 5 and blows out Kracham and McQueen, where do you want the champion to go in terms of choice of vehicle for season 38?
That's it. I don't care what V8. I don't care if it's an Audi. I don't care if it's a BMW. I don't care if it's a Chevrolet or a Ford or an International. I want a V8.
You want a V8. What about drivetrain? All-wheel, front-wheel, rear-wheel? Of course not front-wheel with a V8, I'm guessing.
Oh, well, we just did an all-wheel. We're doing a rear-wheel.
Yeah.
We're probably going to do another rear-wheel, but let's be honest. But I would like to do another front-wheel.
Okay.
I was good with Sirocco, so...
You're good. You're good at anything, dude. You figure it out no matter what. You have some races that are ups and some races that are downs, but all in all, I mean, we catch you in the top 5 or flirting with the top 5 each and every season. What do you have to say for anybody who's watching either your broadcast, if you're still streaming, or our broadcast here? They're thinking about, hey, I want to get into a Forza Racing League, Forza Motorsport 7. It's like 3 years old, but is it still worth looking into something like the Forza Spec Racing Series to get involved?
If you want to get into entry level sim racing, sim in quotation marks, I think FM4 or FM4 is probably the best place for you. We're not super serious about anything. The main goal is to have fun, be friendly. Go ahead with a little bit of crap talking and whatnot. But other than that, there's no rules really. Just don't be a d-bag and you're cool.
There you go.
And a lot of people have gotten very fast through us, because I remember when I used to be able to race Audrex, and when me and him would be neck and neck, and now he's faster than me by a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So it's anybody's ball game.
Anybody's ball game. Show up. That's the least you could do. Show up, participate, and even if you're not championship level of competitiveness, hey, you're going to find somebody that you can compete with closely out there on the track. So get out there and give it a shot. Fear the Fun, any last parting words for you here tonight?
Last week I asked you to move me to Racer Chat. Can you please move me to Racer Chat this week?
I couldn't tell you because I had moved you to the interview queue. I actually can't move you for whatever reason. I think Slow Motion Fire has that turned off where I can't move you into that one. I can only move you back to the queue.
Well, I'll give Slow some words of encouragement.
Okay.
To make sure you get that.
All right. Well, back to the queue you go, sir.
Thank you.
I tried last week, and I couldn't make it happen. So the only thing I can do is move him back to the interview queue, and we bring in, as we put fear into that one, we bring in to the driver's spotlight Jacob TBOD. Jacob, you had a couple of great finishes. Actually, it looks like you finished. What was it? 13th in Road Atlanta, and then you had a battle for 12th there with Barney and Chaos, and I'm calling it that you finished 12th. I'm thinking that's where Slow Motion Fire marked you down too, but is that how you see it?
The way from my screen, it was honestly too close to call whether it was Barney or I that took 12th. We agreed what we would do is we just do that final lap shootout, and he ended up beating me for that. So he'll be getting 12th, and I'll be getting 13th.
Oh, well, geez, if I had known that, I wouldn't have jumped out of the lobby so quickly. We did get an extra lap shootout there between Jacob and Barney, with Jacob telling us that Barney went ahead and picked up the win there, or at least the 12th place finish, versus Joe in 13th. So all in all, I think you guys go ahead.
No,
Jacob. I'm sorry, not Joe. Jacob. You guys had just an awesome battle all the way from 7th position on back to 14th, even 15th, I think, was in the mix there for a bit. That was on your toes, gripping the wheel all the way, so to speak. I mean, you might be on a controller, but so to speak, all the way through that race. There was real no time to breathe for you.
Yeah, for predominantly when I was in 7th and trying to hold off, again, Barney and Joe, and by Joe I mean actually Joe, not me. Yeah, oh my God, my heart was pounding. Just, it gets a little nerve-wracking, but after that I kind of zoned out.
Yeah, there were some nerve-wracking points. I don't know that from, if I were to watch the broadcast back, I don't know if the nerve-wracking points were when we had the camera focused on you, but there was a little bit of bumping, which is race. I mean, that's racing for you. Everybody looked really, really clean out there on the track. Was that how you took account of things, that everybody was racing quite clean?
Through both races, I had a couple cars come across my nose, but I mean, yeah, that's racing. We don't actually have mirrors in this game, so it's kind of hard to tell what's around you.
Happens every once in a while. Fear the Fun saying, hey, the guys, they don't take it too seriously. Obviously, asking everybody to race clean as possible. You get out of line too much, and surely Slow Motion Fire will tell you to kind of sit one out. But maybe a few little questionable maneuvers out there on the track, but all in all, pretty clean. So now we go from the dry that has been all 8 races up to this point now into the wet, or at least the race will start out as wet out there at Sebring. What kind of adjustments might you be making to the BMW M3 to accommodate that?
My throttle inputs.
And what about, I don't know, what are you thinking in terms of pit strategy, if you're willing to divulge here on the broadcast?
Honestly, have put zero thought into it so far.
Is that the best way to go into a race, is just kind of just go for it and not really put too much thought into it?
Absolutely not.
You mean preparation matters, huh?
Yeah.
So between now and next Tuesday, is there a little bit of preparation for you, or will inevitably you just kind of wing it when we get out here a week from tonight?
No, I'll probably do just a little bit of testing to see how many laps I can go before I need a set of tires, before I need fuel. Other than that, I mean, I got Dirt Rally 2, and I've been playing that. So that practice is taking a backseat. I got important stuff to worry about.
Dirt Rally 2, that's a good one there, and keeping you occupied on all disciplines of racing, the rally discipline there. If you were to say, hey, there's one favorite part about Sebring and then there's one not so favorite part of that track, what are those?
I like the fact that it's in Florida.
Okay.
I'm kind of want to move to Florida. Which Fear's probably in the chat right now, being Florida man, probably telling me don't come to Florida.
Oh, okay.
But no, I like Florida a lot. I don't like how in that final hairpin it gets kind of bumpy. It'll upset the car. But no, other than that, I like Sebring. It's a fun track.
Very cool. And we're talking here with Jacob T. BOED in the driver's spotlight at the conclusion of week number 4, heading into the finale 1 week from tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on X Venture. If you could drop a line or put a bug in the ear of the champion here, what vehicle, if you're able to participate in Season 38, that's an assumption on my part, what kind of vehicle would you like to see for Season 38?
Oh, that's... I've had jokes in the back of my head of what I would say to him.
Mm-hmm.
And just, that's the car you got to pick. I drive a Colorado ZR2, so I'm going to say Colorado ZR2. Let's go.
See, that would be pretty cool. I would actually, we had the Ford F100 a few seasons back, but the Colorado would be a different take there. That would be something a bit different.
Yeah, you go from vintage trucking to modern.
When you bring up the Colorado, it makes me reminisce in the Forza Motorsport days when we had the GMC, the Typhoon or the
Cyclone.
The Cyclone, yeah.
Oh,
and
those are the days.
And they just released it for Forza Motorsport 4 a few weeks ago, or Forza Horizon 4. And it's like, man, it would be nice to have those trucks back, a little bit of SCCA action here in Forza Motorsport 7. Oh, well. We'll
if we had the Cyclone in FM7, I'd be yelling for Cyclone.
That'd be the one. Very good. Jacob, like I said, great job out there tonight. 13th place in both races since you lost the shootout there with Barney out at the Nürburgring GP. Any last shout outs here this evening?
I'm gonna give a shout out to Chaos Fox just because he's my homie, and parting wisdom: just remember, a penny saved is worth two in the bush.
Very good. Very good. Jacob, we'll see you out on the track 1 week from tonight for the finale.
Catch you later.
All right. That's it. I'm actually very surprised. We had very few drivers in the driver's spotlight. Drivers, if you are wanting to jump in there last minute, by all means, go for it. And I'll be hanging out here for another second or two as we wrap things up here on a Tuesday evening, taking you into your Wednesday, December. We're in the final month of 2020, and hopefully, this will also mean the winding down of the craziness that has been this year. I don't know that, obviously, it's not going to be a 180 come January 1, but maybe we're getting closer to the greener side of the grass than we are in this weird world that we're currently in. But hopefully you all are taking care and staying happy and healthy even through these holidays. I know it's kind of difficult to spend time apart from family and all that, but do what you got to do and hang out with us here on X Venture. And for those of you who have been hanging out with us and you've racked up those channel points, and oh, by the way, for those who did say that McQueen would go back to back to back, there you go. A few more in your channel point pocketbook for every 1,000 earned. And channel points, you just earn them by watching. That's it. You don't have to really do anything. You just watch the channel, and the longer you're here, the more you earn. And at 1,000, you can put in your first entry into the raffle, and every 1,000 thereafter, you can put additional entries to give yourself a better chance of winning the $50 digital gift card that we'll be giving away 1 week from tonight, December 8th, right here at the conclusion of the Week 5 Forza Spec Racing Series finale. One lucky random winner will win the gift card of their choosing. And all you got to do is just put in entries. That's it. You don't have to sub. You don't have to purchase anything. No purchase necessary whatsoever. It is just legitimately be here for as much as you can, redeem the points, and increase your chances of winning. These giveaways, the raffle here, all thanks to those of you who have gone above and beyond with a subscription to the channel. Without that support, we wouldn't have things like this. And with your support, it all goes back to the broadcast. It all goes back to the little community here that we have on X Venture. So big shout out to all of those who have the racing helmet next to their name in the chat. All right, so there's my little shout out there for our raffle. If you want to know who stands where in terms of entries, full transparency. We actually have the list of entries received prior to tonight's broadcast. So I got to add up those of you who have received entries or redeemed entries during this broadcast, but you take a look there at that spreadsheet and it'll tell you where everybody stands with regards to the number of entries over the last, 3 weeks that we've been running the entry period. Okie doke. So there's that. There is the raffle part of the broadcast as I have harped on that enough for the evening. Remember, this Friday, we continue on with Hauling for the Weekend. It's Yep, there we go. We got the truck. It's one of my favorite broadcasts of the week, and it's really hard to pick a favorite because all three of the broadcasts that I do every week are so much fun to me. But it really is kind of nice to loose up the collar, so to speak, put myself behind the sticks as I drive the big rigs all around the western states of America in American Truck Simulator. We are in Colorado, and we'll continue to explore Colorado here this coming Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern. Be there, have fun, hang out with me, continue to earn channel points, and even better, watch the fun and awkward situations that I get myself and my truck in as I venture around making deliveries from point A to point B. And then, gosh, like I said, how do I pick a favorite? I said that Fridays are one of my favorites, but really then we've got Saddle Up Sundays on Sunday. Yeah, continuing the Red Dead Redemption 2 playthrough here on X-Venture. I told you, I went away from Virtual Autosports to X-Venture, and there was a reason why. It was because I was bringing more non-racing content to the channel. And it's a Sunday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern time. Come hang out with me, maybe to start your Sunday. Grab your cup of joe, sit there at the computer screen, and watch me take down a few baddies. Or I guess really I am the baddie, really, right? The Vanderlyn gang is not necessarily the good guys. And so heading back out into the world of Red Dead Redemption 2, the prologue to Red Dead Redemption. So who knows? By the time I get done with this playthrough, maybe there will be a remastered version of the original game that we could pick right back up on the story. Either way, we're having a lot of fun there in the world of Red Dead 2. So come join us again this Sunday, 10 a.m. Eastern time, right here on X-Venture. So much fun. So much fun to be had. All right, y'all. Well, I don't see any other drivers in the spotlight, the interview spotlight section. So that's going to do it for me here tonight on a Tuesday evening going into Wednesday, December 2nd. Again, y'all stay happy, stay healthy. If you get any racing action in here over the week, keep it fun, keep it safe, keep it clean, just like you saw here in the Forza Spec Racing Series. They did such a magnificent job here tonight. Until Friday, take care. Adios. Farewell. Goodbye.